Well, good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for catching me on a beautiful evening. I'm going to sit outdoors. If you're going to catch this on replay, hey, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Like, subscribe, and share to the channel. All of that good stuff. Remember, it's your best place to make friends, grow your channel, your network, your circle. Tell us things. I'm going to try to watch some hummingbirds while we do a live stream tonight, guys. We're not going to get too excited about things for a little bit. We'll let people kind of pile in here, and then we'll get going. But man, I sure do think that is the yucky stuff. I think I'm almost out of bug spray. All right, there we go. See if I look presentable to the world today. Shit. I'm gonna find my. Oh, I love spending my evenings outdoors. I hope you guys got a nice place where you're at, whether it's morning time or night time, that you can just hang out outdoors, indoors, wherever it may be, and just kick back and relax. I'm a big fan of having a space where you can just relax, not stress, enjoy nature, if that's your thing. Yep, that's my little wiener dog, Lily. She saw somebody through the fence riding their bicycle across by the road. So she had to go tell him to kiss off. Don't you come around here no more, man. This is my yard, my street, man. Favorite movie? Jack, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you both for coming in. Thumbs up. Don't be all you good folks in the background. You're not going to want to miss this live stream. If you're brave, give us a thumbs up. If you're brave enough to try to be a troll, come on. If you want to join us and have a great conversation, if you need advice, I'm happy to give it. I can answer any question. I give great advice. We don't discriminate on this channel. We like everybody from everywhere. We don't care what religion you are or what religion you're not. I don't stream every day, but I stream a lot. We still produce a lot of videos, but I probably stream 5 times a week. Some weeks a little less because I get tired or, something. Some weeks if we're traveling, more. So it just kind of depends. Well, let me ask, what's your favorite movie? I'm trying to think of mine. I know I have one. Maybe I have one. I don't know. Well, Jack, the question is not how old I am, but the question is, how old do you think I am? You guys give us some thumbs up there. Hit that thumbs up. And if you're new to us, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Do that. Very important things to do. You can hit the all bell so you get our notifications when we do videos and streaming. But the question is, how old do you think I am? Not how old I know I am. So. I like a lot of movies. I don't know. I guess John Wayne's Green Beret is one of my favorite movies. About the only thing. I like the Conjuring movies. I like horror movies. I like scary movies, but I don't like. I like thriller movies where there's a plot to the story, like the Conjuring movies. You think I'm 65? Jack says 70. All right. I can be any age you want me to be. And thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Kanisha, how are you? Good to see you. I'm doing good. Thank you for coming in and thank you for the thumbs up. Nestine says hi. Hello, good to see you. Colebrook. Colebrook, nice to have you. I am snacking on plain ordinary skinny pop popcorn, the original. Popcorn. I like that. This is very healthy popcorn. All it has in it is truly, I'll read you the ingredients if I can find them again. What are the ingredients? Basically popcorn, a little oil to cook it in, and salt. No artificial ingredients. Popcorn, then B1. B1 what? Did I miss something here? B1 what? Be a wise man who's offering free advice to everybody he likes. Nisha, I am mad at my sister. I was doing okay. Why are you mad at your sister? Tell me. Maybe I can help you get through it. Tell me why you're mad at her. Like popcorn too? It's good. This is really good popcorn. I mean, it's just popcorn. That's it. A little salt, a little oil, real popcorn, no artificial flavors, nothing added. Very healthy. This little bag is 70 calories for one bag. The ingredients, like I said, yeah, here. Popcorn, sunflower oil, and salt. That's it. That's what these are. Thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way. Don't be shy about that. It doesn't cost any money. I don't charge you guys for giving me a thumbs up. I refilled my hummingbird feeder tonight, so I wanted to watch and see the hummingbirds come in tonight. You might see them in the back glass. My grandpa will eat a bag of those because he says it's good for him. It is good. It's high in fiber. Let's see if it says. No sugars and some fiber. Your grandpa's a smart man. Grandpa is a smart man. Do you like your grandpa, Lucas? The best popcorn is when you go to the movie theater and you get their popcorn and you load it up with butter. But it is the worst popcorn to eat. All right. Looks like we got another good friend here. Probably going to have a problem pronouncing his name, so I'm going to call him D. D, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I'm assuming maybe you're from Vietnam or India, something like that. Which part of the world are you from, my friend? Whoop. It's a beautiful evening where we're at. It's about 80 degrees, a light breeze, having a popcorn snack, joining all of you kind folks who have given me thumbs up and shouts outs. You know, we appreciate everybody watching and supporting our channel, liking our doggy videos and everything else. Joe, I would show that, but it's kind of vulgar. And Joe, it sounds like you have sexual problems. So we're not going to entertain your comment and show the kids in here. But I will say I feel sorry for you. You must have sexual dysfunction problems. You probably live in the basement with your mama. So, I feel sorry for you. I believe it. I believe it. Only people that come out like that have those issues. Normal people don't. But hey, like I said earlier, I don't discriminate. I accept people with mental health issues and problems like you. Maybe you're here because you have a fondness for children. I don't know. Now, if that's the case, I don't want you here. So, we have a rule on this channel. Everybody's welcome, no matter what race, religion, creed you are, where you're from in the world, what language you speak, what religion you believe in or don't believe in, whatever your politics, you're all welcome here. We don't talk about little children in a negative way, and I make fun of the trolls. Lucas, I've got to go, but I will join the stream the next time. All right, Lucas, take care. Enjoy your evening. I'm enjoying mine because I got popcorn. And it's a beautiful evening. I mean, it's just, for a summer evening, you can't beat it. Joe, I could tell you probably did have that, and I feel bad for you. But then again, your problems are not my problems. But I do feel sad for you. You know, I hope that you get some psychological help. Good mental health is available to people like you. And or, if you can't, I hope one of these days when you're bent over the table, somebody will teach you what life is really all about. Joe, I got a feeling you couldn't save up enough money to get anybody to ever do that. And since you don't have anything intellectual or intelligent to say, Joe, besides your own personal mental health issues, I'm going to put you in timeout because you're a waste of time. Saying hi, my good friend Dee is saying hi. How are you, Dee? What part of the world are you from? We got a lot of friends that come in from all over the world. I mean, all over the world. Nisha says, I am mad. Sister about made me go home. She lived with the best friend's neighbor, typically fight me. All right. So, I'm assuming your sister's older than you. She's looking out for you. She's trying to make sure you don't get in the way or get in trouble. So she's probably just looking out for you. But what I would do is just cut her a break, find something else to focus on. You know, don't worry about what sister's doing, and just worry about yourself. Find something else to entertain yourself with, and that's the best way. The best thing to do is just to find something for yourself to do. I will tell you that fighting with your sister is not going to do any good. Being mad at your sister for a long time over something silly like that, not very good. So you're 27, all right. You're an adult, you can do what you want. If you truly are an adult, why are you hanging out with your sister anyway? Why are you worried about your sister? Go find something else to do. Go get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Get a job, work there. It's 8 p.m. here, 8:04 p.m. So you're too old to be fighting with your sister. That's silly. So I definitely mean go find something better to do with your time, okay? Because why would you waste your time fighting with people? That doesn't do any good, right? Don't do that. You, we waste so much time fighting with people that it's ridiculous. So don't do it. Take your power back, which means take your time back. Because there's a saying out there that I'm a huge fan of. I want you to listen to this. It's the grass that suffers when elephants fight. So it's the grass that suffers when the elephant fights. Meaning, the fight isn't that big of a deal, but the things that come from it, the other people involved and or around you, mom, dad, cousins, nieces, nephews, everybody else involved has to deal with you and your sister fighting. And do you think they really want to? You think they want to put up with that? They don't. They all want a peaceful world too. So just don't do it, all right? You're better than that. Remember that. And I'll go on to tell you, look, if you have a family dynamic or a friendship where it's always fighting and arguing, then you need to change that. You need to remove yourself from that situation and or become the hero and not do that. So, for example, if you have two elephants fighting, and if one goes away to another area, there is no fight, right? One person can't fight, so it takes two to fight. So, if you got somebody always wanting to fight with you, don't do it. You don't have a mom anymore? Well, most of us don't. It's a sad reality of life that our parents pass away, but it's very natural. It's going to happen to you, me, everybody. Someday, you'll wake up and you'll figure out that you're the old person now, that you're the elder of the family. Just the way it is. My mother died when I was very, very young. Just the way it is. You can't do anything about people dying on you. Here's what we have to understand, everybody. People are going to die whether we like it or not. They're going to die. There's nothing we can do about it. It may be a sad event, be a traumatic event, it may be a struggle. But here's what you got to think about, no matter what religious belief you have or don't have. When somebody passes away, their physical body is no longer in pain. Their physical body no longer suffers. You're one of the ones that found your mom, huh? All right. Well, that's all right. At least it wasn't a stranger who found her. And so that's a good thing. I just have one wiener dog. I had two, but my other one died about 3 months ago. Lily, quiet. But some of our neighbors are walking around, and my dog's like, "Hey, what you doing, man? Why are you walking around the neighborhood? Man." And there's a bunch of little kids playing in the street. So, beautiful night here. you guys all remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, as soon as I get her, yeah, I'll show her to you in a second. As soon as she comes back up here. You okay, Lily? Yeah? Lily, good girl? What? Do you have any dogs yourself? You guys like pets? That's my dog. See her? That's the dog. She's laying down on her bed, guarding the yard. You have a nice house. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's just a normal house in my part of the world, to be honest. It's nothing special, but thank you. Someday I'm trying to save up money so I can buy my wife a house. But for now, we have this one. Yeah, the dog's a cute dog. What kind of house do you live in? You have one dog? What kind of dog? And what part of the world are you living in? I can hear my neighbors having a good time. You got an English bulldog. Very nice. Very nice. They're very cool dogs. Mine's a wiener dog. You're out in New York? All right. How do you like New York? Yep. Still eating some popcorn. My last little bag. Everybody in the background, please feel free to come forward and say hello. Let me know if you have a YouTube channel or not. If you need help or advice, let me know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up, but come on forward and say hi. Well, there's my good buddy, Galactic Gaming. We're doing good, man. How are you? Have you landed in America yet? New York is okay? Now, I think you land in about a week, right? Tuesday. All right. No, we're doing pretty good, Galactic. You know, it's a beautiful night here. Temperature's about perfect. So we're doing good, man. Nisha says, nope, don't have a YouTube channel. All right, that's okay. I know. You said 30 minutes to the airport and then 4 hours flight to Spain, right? Well, you said it's going to be 11-hour journey to America. It is a long flight. 11 hours is long in a plane. Which airport do you land at in America first? Where are you coming in from, if you don't mind me asking? 'Cause I know you're going to Vegas, but I'm not for sure how if you're coming over the polar cap or you're just coming across the ocean all the way. I was kind of curious. Harry Reid. All right. So you're going to leave the Gatwick, which I've seen on TV a lot, and you're going to land at Harry Reid, a direct flight. Huh. Wow. Never heard of. I don't remember the LA. I don't remember Las Vegas being called Harry Reid. We've flown into it. Kenesha says I'm going to be leaving New York soon. Me too. I wish you could afford first class too, because you're a nice enough guy. If you could afford first class, you might buy me like a third class ticket. So let me look. Las Vegas Airport. Yeah, it's in Harriet. Yeah, I guess it is. I didn't realize. I guess I never paid any attention to it, but yeah, it's definitely the right airport. Yeah. Well, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We don't have any trips planned. Yeah, I wish I could afford first class. You know what would be really nice if you had the type of money where you could just book your ticket and not worry about the price. Kenesha says, I am laughing at you right now. And why is that, Kenesha? Do tell, young lady. Is it because of my charming good looks? My outstanding vocabulary? Now, how many days are you going to be here, Rob? How many days are you going to be in Vegas? Beware, remember about the kidney scam. About what I said. Ah, all right, that's a good time. All right, I'm going to give you some advice. She says, oh, it's about what you said. Oh, all right. I'm going to give you some big advice for Vegas. Remember, 911 is the emergency number in America. If you wake up in a bathtub full of ice, get your phone and call 911 immediately, all right? Nisha says her granny's birthday's coming up. Nice. I got a birthday coming up in a few months. I'll be 21 in a few months. So, you know, Rob, I'm always happy to help people out, man. Jimmy John is in the house. Hey, David, long time no see. Jimmy John, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? A couple months at least. How are you? What's going on in your world? Get me up to date. Anything exciting? Things are going pretty good here. It's a beautiful evening. Right at 80 degrees. You got a light breeze blowing. No, you are not. What, 21? Yeah, you never know. Me? I would never lie to anybody on the internet. Trust me. I wouldn't do it. You can have my word. I would never tell a lie on the internet. Because remember, everything you see, hear, and read on the internet is the gospel truth. Absolute truth, no matter what. If it's on the internet, you know it's 1,000,000,000% truth. Just saying. You know. Lucas, good to see ya. Kenesha is saying, I look old. Well, I don't know. I don't think I look that old. I think I get past for, maybe 25, you know. I could see people thinking I'm 25 years old. Lucas is back in the house. No, it's safe. It's safe. If you're out on the streets walking, depending on what you're going to be doing, if you're out on the streets, the busy streets with all the congestion, with all the people going back and forth, I would just be a little aware of it. You know, I'd make sure that your fist is bigger, you know, that they can't slide it off, because there are pickpockets. But if I'm going out to dinner, if I'm going to go gambling, if I'm going to watch a show, if I'm going to run around the casino and go do things, it wouldn't bother me. I would just make dang sure that when I'm walking up and down the street, especially if I'm partaking in any party favors, and maybe I wouldn't do it when I did that, just so that I wouldn't lose it and or somebody wouldn't bump at me and somebody else come along and scoop it off my arm. So the odds of you getting robbed is low unless you're just kind of standing out there kind of going, ooh, look at me, look at me, look at me. Jimmy John says, I'm good, same old, home to work. Worked up. I know, man. Isn't that the crappy thing about life? Seems like we spend more time going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. You guys all know I preach very, very hard about having a life, having things to do. You know, now, if you got a snap band I was just thinking more about your watch. You know, depending on which Rolex it is. I don't know if they have any ones of leather bands, you know, with a buckle. You're probably better off, but you still got to watch people popping it. So on the street, I'd be worried, but anywhere else, it wouldn't bother me. Jimmy John hasn't been doing anything fun. Did I serve in the military? I did not. I was too fat. The military said, boy, let me tell you a story. You're fat. So, you know, you go away and not be fat anymore, we'll take you in the military. Not a day over 30. You got that right, buddy. Right? It's a 2-date 1990. Ooh. It's not a mega expensive, but it's all metal. If you're, look, well, I know how you feel because, I like watches too. And I got a couple favorite watches. And what's weird is sometimes when we have a watch that we really, really like, we're afraid of wearing it. But I'm trying to train myself to go, even though I don't have anything expensive, it's kind of like we need to enjoy those watches. My birthday's soon. It is. It's coming up in a, yeah, it's coming up soon. Coming up. I don't know how old I am. I'd have to ask my wife. Only she knows. But I'm getting up there. Next year is a very special birthday for my wife. It's one of those big year numbers. So next spring we're going to have a big birthday party for her. But mine's right around the corner, so to speak. So I know what you mean. You got a watch that you really love. Maybe it's not worth, 50,000 or 5,000 or $5, but you really like it. You don't want to tear it up. You don't want to break it. You don't want to lose it. Ah, you're almost getting up there. So you're almost, someday you're going to be as old as me. You know that, right? So, yeah, mine's in a while yet, but it's close. My wedding anniversary is in September. So I'm working on figuring out what to do for a wedding anniversary. My wife would really like to have a nice trip or something for the wedding anniversary, but we're kind of low on budget. And then she's going to have a big party next year for her birthday. That's going to cost. And then we're going to try to go to Europe next year. So that's going to cost. So we got to kind of, budget things accordingly. My good friend Lawson's in the house. Hey, sorry I missed you. That's all right. Lawson, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. The thumbs up and all that. If I don't kill by a freak accident or something, I think I'll make it to, I'm sure you will. Look, I got a brother who's very similar to you, but he's older than me, and he's still alive and a kicking too. So your past drug issue doesn't mean that you won't have a bright future. Jimmy, well, I like my work, but I'm on the tail end. Gonna call it a career unless, congratulations. Philippines is where you're going to be. What part of the Philippines are you going to again? I can't remember. I'm happy for you. I got several other friends that are on the 24-month and countdown period right now, as I call it, the 24-month period, and they're counting down to go to the Philippines to live. I got one that's headed over there next week, and one that's over there in a month, and one that's over like in 12. So we got a bunch of different people. You should do a story time. What kind of story would you like me to tell you? I can do one, and it wouldn't even be a lie. We tried to save me a couple bucks for my dream house, but Mama said, no way. That's all right. That's okay. I understand. I'm not worried about it. But thank you for the thought. The thought is what's important. Someday I'll get our dream house. Well, just being debt free on a house would be the dream. And always listen to your mother, by the way. You got to remember, you only got one mama. You need to listen to mama. If mama tells you to go do A, B, C, and D, you better go do it. And you better do it with a smile on your face and be happy. Your job is to take care of your mother. Be a good son. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Lawson. Came from Dawson. Had a mama that was so pretty that she looked like a flower blossom. I think my friend might possibly send you some money. Well, that'd be nice. We got that PayPal link, everybody. We are trying to. My long-term goal, and I told everybody this, is to get my wife a house that's debt-free. That way, when I die, she never has to worry about anything. A story from my childhood? Woo-wee. Well, there's Braxton Newton. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you. Wow. That's very kind of you. Everybody. Wow. That's super nice of you, sir. Appreciate you, Braxton. Very kind of you. It'll go towards, I really do have this thing where I want to make sure my wife has a house that's paid for. You know, I'm older than her. I have really bad health. And everything we do on YouTube is all about making sure her life is in good standing. So, Braxton, thank you for that. Here's some big old hearts for you there, buddy. Oh, it's all right, Braxton. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to do that. His mom said no to. That's all right. No, no, no. If you don't have money, don't do it. Look, it's okay. Everything's appreciated, but we don't need it. It's just a wish. So I would prefer you guys, if you have just a little money, to give it to people that really, really, really need it, like for food. You know, that's always a good thing to do. Help people really struggling. We don't struggle. I just have wishes and desires. Is all I have. Jimmy says, I have not decided yet. I've been establishing contracts for the past 2 years. Contacts. I'll do an exploratory trip first. That's best. And maybe 1 month in 2020. Okay, good. We're going back in 27. We got to go back in 27. All right. You send me a picture of it on Facebook. Let me see what it looks like. We love to support you because you're my favorite YouTuber. Lawson, I appreciate that. Now you're my favorite follower. Whoever says I'm their favorite means, you know. Let's see. Let's see. Explore where? I don't know what you mean, Galactic. I don't know what you mean. I went to New York with my family, saw a homeless man, and tried to give him my sandwich, and he yelled at me. All right. I believe you. Let's see. Did you say you Facebooked me or did you email me? Well, sometimes even people that are in pain and suffering don't act well. Jimmy said we could go exploring somewhere. Oh, in the Philippines. He's going to go to the Philippines and do an exploratory trip about where he wants to settle down and live. I got to go because I'm with Braxton and we're going to cook something that hopefully you can see you tomorrow. All right, buddy. Appreciate you that. Appreciate you and Braxton very much. Facebook. All right, I'm looking. I'm looking. I don't know why it's not showing up yet. Bohol. Yeah, my wife is from Cebu, so we know the island there well. Because I'm allowed to donate $2 because I did the dishes all week. Well, I tell you what, why don't you just keep those $2 for yourself and help somebody out locally, like at your school? Maybe buy something for one of your classmates that doesn't have. Well, thank you, Lucas. We appreciate that, my friend. I was just going to say you can help out one of your classmates if you want, but thank you anyway. Dropping off a thumb, can't stay, got to work early shift. All right, buddy. We appreciate you as always. You know that, right? So we always need thumbs. that's weird. I'm not getting anything on Facebook Messenger. Lucas said hello to everybody. Um, I think the key is when you go to the Philippines to live, you got to kind of think about what it is that you, and I think you got to be realistic and honest. Well, a lot of us, before we get to the Philippines, we think, oh man, I really would like to have the Providence life because the country life in America is for me. I'm all about the country life in America, so I want the province life in America, in the Philippines. Well, the province life in the Philippines is way, way different than country life in America. What about now? I think it might have sent properly. All right, let me look. I got it. Ooh. You know, you're right. It's really not my vibe, but it's cool. I gotta admit, it's very nice. I like the band. I do like the two-tone bands. But you're right, it's not really my size. Or not my style, you know what I meant. But it's very nice, so congratulations on that. You know, I think I told you I kind of like square watches. And I like ones that have something like an oyster, a blue, and gold and stuff. So, well, one of my hobbies, fishing. I like to go fishing. I like watches are a hobby. Fishing's, about it. Yeah, the Jubilee strap is your fave. Yeah, it's a nice strap. I like those. Well, I wouldn't. Here's what I would do. I wouldn't do the city or the province. I want to go to the outside of the city. So this is for me. A simple life, good life, is living just outside the city before you get to the province. Because living in the province is rough. It's like camping. But living on the outskirts of the city, where you can get into the city in 30 minutes, there's some really nice places, communities, and you can be a part of a community there. I bet you did. It's nice. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, it's a stunning watch. I agree. 20 grand, 20. Wow. It is a nice watch. I guess, I told you, I think I'm a little bit more old school, gentlemanly old school. But I don't like big, and I know that one's not real big, but I don't like those great big monsters that they make now. Not into those so much. I like a light watch. But there's some watches out there that have I can't remember what you call it, like an or, oyster blue face. A couple of different brands, like the Omega has one, Rolex has one. That's my favorite face, that light blue color. I really like that. But I really like I know it's cheap watch, but the old Seiko black and gold, a gold on gold with black band. The green, the one that had the green face, the purple face inside, just the thin Seikos from like the 80s and the 70s. Those are still my favorites. But no, I would agree, and I know you know that. Um, I just think a lot of guys don't realize. Here's one thing, and I didn't realize this living there, how boring the Philippines can be. If you think America's boring, the Philippines is going to be 20,000 times more boring. And I'll tell you why. Now, in the beginning, it's not going to be, of course, because you're going to run around doing. Now, when you're on vacation, you're running around like a madman, seeing things, having a good time, meeting people, doing all that, becoming a millionaire for the month, right? But when you live there, it's a slower pace. And yeah, you can go to the beaches and the malls and all of that, right? But after a while, you kind of go, okay, well, all the beaches are the same, all the malls are the same, all the restaurants, just like America, everything's the same. The only difference in America is we have like the Grand Canyon, then we have New York, then we have California, then we have Florida. So it's a bigger region. Yeah, you're going to want to live with AC. So I have to live in a condo with their own generator. Yes. Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. Now, are you thinking that you wanna hook up with somebody, right? So eventually you want to find a girl and hook up. So you might look at Newtown in Mactan Island. They got condos just like that. They're out of Cebu, Newtown, and a bunch of nice condos that you can rent all up and down the place, restaurants and bars. But the other good thing is there's some call centers there, and it's safe. It's a safe area, and there's call centers, and you can meet all kinds of girls up and down the street. Makati is another great place. It's going to be more pricey in Manila. That's a big town vibe, with the condos and everything. But it's going to be pricier because that's the New York Beverly Hills type of stuff is. Second one, let me look. Let me look, Rob. Hang on. Sorry, let me get back. Oh, yeah, that's my watch. There you go. Holy shit, that's the bait. Oh, yeah. I gotta admit, I like the first one better, the tan and gold, the leather and gold, versus the black. I think if the black and chrome, if the face of it was just the face, if it didn't have two different sections on it, it would be great. But yes, those are my style. This variations, I'll show variations of that are the type of watch that I love. All kinds of variations of that are definitely what I love. So you got that right. But for some reason, this one here doesn't look quite right. You know what I mean? But absolutely. How much are those, Rob? What's the price? Lovely? Oh, hell yeah, man. Only 10K. Only 10K. Are you kidding me? Man, I'm married. If I spend $10,000 on a watch, boy, let me tell you, man, my life would be over. You know, I'm telling you. Those are nice. So, very much my style. Very much. I like those type of watches. You know, let's see if I can pop up a picture really quick of something. You see this vintage Seiko? I really like those. And or the classic one like that. I like watches that look like those. Anything like that. Those are my favorite. Yeah, like McTan. Heard about the call center chicks too? Did you? Yes. Um, and there's a lot of restaurants and places, but there's a lot of them there. You got to admit. I mean, there's a lot. But the condos are fairly okay. They are safe to live there. The streets are okay to walk. You can catch a taxi easy. Now, it can be a little boring there too, but I mean, to me, I mean, you all know how much I love the Philippines, but I find personally the Philippines can be quite boring at times. So, especially because as a guy, being married to my wife, I can't get a lot of things done without her, big things. So, that kind of bums me out. I do have an Apple phone. So yeah, Galactic, for me, those type of watches are what triggers my trigger. I really like that configuration from different brands. You know, I'm just a big fan of those. I've been meaning to buy me one of the old, the retro digital watches. Um, they're not real expensive. I've been meaning to buy one, but I just haven't done it. I do have an Apple phone. You really are. Craig's in the house. Craig, my good friend from Australia, how are you? That's the key to boredom, single or partner. I agree. You know, I know you guys all think I'm probably crazy, but the old Casio watch from the 80s? I'm going to get me one of these days. I'm going to get one of those. Craig, how are you, by the way? Good to see you. My wife in the fish tank behind me has a bunch of fancy goldfish and a Bacosimus, which is like the armored catfish. So, Craig, you got any advice for Jimmy? Jimmy's going to be moving to the Philippines down the road. He's going to be traveling over there. So, we were talking about Mactan Island and Newtown and all of that area there. That, there's women there, there's food there, there's shopping there, there's a Robinson, everything you need there, some restaurants and places to sit outside and hang out. Not too far from the beach. If you want to do the beach thing, doing good, good, good. Get all your car stuff squared away there. Get them all registered and squared away. We're doing pretty good tonight, Craig. It's a nice night out. I think I'm back to 100%. I was in the ER over the weekend, but I think like I'm feeling much better right now. I think I'm doing good this weekend. Craig is right. And that's what he was going to plan on doing, is going over there and exploring and and check things out and bounce around. And I highly recommend that. Do it, because what happens to a lot of us, a lot of people, a lot of guys, is we go over for the month and it's the lifetime. It's the best time of our life. We went over a month or two, met up with a bunch of cute girls, had a great time. We come back home, we're going to move there, we sell everything, we move there, and then we realize, okay, now what do we do? It's hard to keep up the party level when you live somewhere versus visiting somewhere. So luckily, I don't get bored easily. That's good, Jimmy. It really is. I get bored extremely easy, and I don't like not being in control. So I guess I'm a little bit of a control freak. You know what I mean? I enjoy being involved in things. And even when we were house hunting to buy a house and land hunting, I was an outsider. They all were talking, and I'm the one who has the money, and I'm standing there like a bump on a log, and everybody else is talking. And I'm like, no, and I have to interrupt and say, no, no, wait a minute. You're missing the point, you know. Jimmy says, thanks, Craig. Kaylee is Life29 says, hello, good to see you. How are you? Thank you for the thumbs up. How is your Friday going? Is it Friday morning or Friday evening, Saturday? Pat's in the house. Everybody say hello to Pat. Kaylee, thank you for coming in. Everybody say hello to Kaylee, by the way. So, Pat's headed over next year himself for a vacation trip. He's been a couple of times. We got to go back over in 27. We got to take care of some business issues, and then we need to, visit some friends. And then, but I think we're only going to spend about 2 weeks. We don't know exactly how many days yet, but about 2 weeks in the Philippines. And then I think we're going to hop a plane and go to Singapore or something like that. So we're going to split it up this year or next time, because we know spending 30 days sitting around the Philippines bores the shit out of me. And since we've been there, done that, we've gone a whole bunch around Cebu and everywhere. What else is there to do? So, I mean, I don't want to spend 30 days hanging out with friends. So, Craig is saying, hello to you, Pat. Good to see you, young man. I grew up in America. And who says I'm grown up, by the way? I never said I was grown up. Good evening, Ozzy. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Everybody say hello to Ozzy. And everybody say hello to Lucas. So thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way. You guys didn't see, we even got some super chats earlier in the live stream. I was shocked. So it's a beautiful evening here. I don't know. I was telling earlier, I said, I hope everybody, no matter where you live, even in Australia, no matter where you live, that you have an outdoor space. And mine's not great. This outdoor space is not my dream by any stretch at all. But there are nights when it's just a really nice place to be. I've done some work on it, so I hope everybody has kind of a outdoorsy place, if that's your thing, or a sunroom or a spot somewhere that you go and go, yeah, this is good to be here, whether it's a mechanic's garage or, everybody needs, and that's why I sit outside so much, is because for me, I don't know, it's so refreshing, one, to be in the dark, because I'm allergic to the sun, literally, but to feel the cool breeze, not too cool, but enjoy that. Watch the sunset. My favorite thing to do is to watch the sunset. So my dream would be a beach house in America with a yard that faces the west so I could watch the sunset over the water. Can't do anything about that. Women, Filipinas together, they're going to talk, ignore you, and talk some more. Well, you got that right. They are. You can't. Well, and I know that, but, it's just frustrating to me. And maybe other people get frustrated in America like that. I don't know, but I try to be, when I do things, I try really hard to be all inclusive. And not that my wife's very capable. And she would tell me everything that's going on, but I just felt like, look at me. Include me in the conversation, and then my wife doesn't have to tell me what you said. Just include me. And that kind of irritated me. I always felt like, until it was time to open up the wallet, I was a third wheel. So, like I was luggage or baggage. Where's the husband at? Oh, he's over there. All right, well, get him in the car. It's kind of like, or the dog, I don't know. Yeah, as long as you find the right one, you'll be fine. And I knew everything that we were doing. I just didn't like the fact that I couldn't do it. And there were so many examples, and Craig knows this, that when they saw me, the price went up. We looked at buying some land in this one area, and I turned it down because all of a sudden, when we were in the office getting ready to buy it, Now there was a new price, and I walked out and said no. And it was only like $1,000 more, but how dare you? Your people tell me X, Y, and Z, and then when we get there to sign the paperwork, now you want another $1,000? No. I said no, thank you. And so that always irritated me. But that's okay. But a lot of guys have a great time in the Philippines. They don't have any worries like that. They don't stress over that. Took Craig 12 years to get used to it. Well, I'm almost used to, well, I don't know. It's hard for me to, because I want to be involved. If we were going to build a house, I would want to be involved, and I'll tell you one thing that made me really mad when we were house building was we met, here's what pissed me off. I'll tell you, and maybe this is American in me, right? So we meet this builder at a restaurant for lunch, and I'm here to interview them to build me a house, right? They come in and start talking. I have a gigantic list of questions because I'm not dumb. I have all these questions. Well, and I started asking them, and the lady interrupts me and said, "Well, we're making time in our world to build you a house. Like, how dare I ask questions?" And I looked at her and I said, so you're so busy that you don't have time to build me a house. So I should see it as a pleasure that you're going to build me a house? No, thank you. I'll just find somebody else. Because that's not how we do it. You don't, look, you're not doing me a favor when I give you a whole bunch of money. The skin tax. But this was more like, hey, white boy, you need to understand that here, we're doing you a favor. So if we want to charge you more or do this or tell you no, then we're going to do this. We're going to run this operation. Nah, you're not going to do that with me. You're not going to do it with me. We're going to come to a legal binding agreement, discuss the terms, get things narrowed down, put them on the wall, put them on the paper. I'm going to ask any and every freaking question I want to ask until your eyes are purple. If not, then we don't need to do business together. If you can't handle answering my questions, then I don't want to do business with you. And I know the Philippine people find that a challenge. They find it threatening. But it's my money. I'm not going to give you 200 grand and just hope that you do the right thing. I'm not going to do it. So that really irritated me, turned me off big time. Well, we're making time to squeeze you into our busy house building schedule. Oh, well, sorry. I don't want to inconvenience you then. And I told her that. I said, sorry to inconvenience you. I didn't realize you were so busy that you'd have to squeeze me in. Never got the head around the culture. I know some of the culture's great, Craig, right? And some of it you kind of go, what? It's kind of like, remember I told you the story about the eyeglasses. Once the eye doctor found out it was a white person buying the eyeglasses, she wanted to charge more money versus what the cashier person charged us, And so therefore I walked away from the deal. Lorelai got really mad and said, no, you're not doing that. Here we are ready to pay this money for these 2 pairs of glasses. And all of a sudden you're saying, no. This is the Filipino price. For foreigners, and what she clearly said, this price that's listed is only for Filipinos and Filipinos. For foreigners, they have to follow this price schedule. And Lorelai got pissed and said no. And I laughed because I'm thinking, all right, here you are willing. So now you're going to get $0 when I'm going to buy the most expensive glasses in your damn place. I'm buying 2 pair. I got the cash right now. But now you're going to get $0 because of your greed versus getting good money. Because how many Filipinos are walking in there going to buy 2 pairs of glasses and then the most expensive glasses in your damn store? So instead of making, because one thing I taught all my life is about, and I love making money. You never turn down money. You know, a dollar is better than no dollar, right? So the key sometimes is to make a whole bunch of little dollars instead of making one big score. I would rather make little money all the time and than one big score. And that eye doctor, thought she was going to make one big score. And they were like tripling the price on us. Renting, yeah. Well, yeah, renting a house, but they're going to charge you extra anyway. Now, look, if you're going to rent something in the Philippines, you make damn sure you get it documented. You better make damn sure that everything's written in. Who pays for what? Every time you give them money, you get a receipt in return. And I mean every time. You get a receipt showing you paid. You get a receipt for your deposit. Are you going to get your deposit back? It needs to be in writing. It's non-refundable, refundable. Do you pay the electric? Is electric included? What about the water? I'm just telling you. You got to, especially as an expat. Because we love the Philippine people, but there is no question if they can slide one by you, they will. And you'll have what I call middlemen or middle people. You have a whole lot of people that pretend that they're real estate agents, but they're not. They're broker. They're unlicensed brokerage people that try to run interference. You have the same thing with the rental property. You got all these people running around trying to find renters for these landlords, and they get a cut of the pie. So they may come and tell you, oh yeah, this condo you're going to rent's $400 a month, right? Well, it may only be $250 a month, and that little person's pocketing the rest of the money. That's why it's good to shop around and figure out what the price of these condos are really going in that building. Because we had to stay in one after Typhoon Odette, and we got hosed. We had to pay rent in two different places. So, yeah, we had a lot of people wanting to help us find places to live because they get a cut of the pie. And that's why you get everything in writing. Never turn anything in without a receipt, man. Right, you don't take policy to the bank, you take money to the bank. You take them dollars. And those people would take your dollars and disappear like nobody's believed. You know, it's easy to get hustled in the Philippines. I'm sure it's easy to get hustled everywhere, but it really does seem to be easy for expats to get hustled. You know, that's why connecting with other expats who's living in and around or know the areas is not a bad thing. But I wouldn't hitch my wagon to other expats either. Some expats can be slime balls. So they're not going to be good. They're there to hustle you too. They're thinking, the new expat's in town. That expat's going to be buying my booze for the next couple of months because I'm a drunk. They're going to be doing this, and I'm going to be hustling them. So the expats will take advantage of the other expats too. Got to be aware of that. And what I would do when you go over and explore and travel around is make some contacts in the property management offices, and get to know who's the real property manager. Like at Mactan, Newtown, there's a property officer. Go to the condos that you might like and go, well, hey, who runs renting these apartments? And there's going to be individuals, and there's going to be a person that has 5 or 10 or 15 of them, and there's going to be people that, and kind of get to know that a little bit and understand that. That's my big recommendation. But after Typhoon Odette, we paid rent at 2 different places. The house that was inhabitable, and the condo that had oil in the water. Ah, I like that, Jimmy. We have ambulance chasers and they have expat chasers. Boy, they do, and they can sniff you a mile away. You know, and I mean a mile away. And look, one thing I'll say, because I love Philippine women, love my wife, but one thing I know from being around expats or Philippines in America, American men who are married to Filipinos all these many years since I was 18 years of age, Philippine women are really good at hooking men. They are really good. They're way better than American women are. I'm back. I got disconnected. Uh-oh. So what I mean, Philippine women and maybe other women too in Thailand or somewhere, but I'm telling you, Philippine women know what to do instinctively to get you to hook their wagon to them. They know how to do that. Pat saying hello to everybody. And I mean in all different ways, by taking care of you, by making you feel like a great guy, to loving on you, to cooking, to worshiping you. They know it's ingrained in them. It's a natural thing. It's as much a part of them as it is a frog sticking their tongue out to catch a bug in the air. It just comes natural. And they are good at it. I am telling you, I've been around Filipinos since I was 18 years old because I grew up with them. And I've seen many husbands, you know, I'm telling you, these girls, they're good. It's not a bad thing, anybody. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just telling you, if you want to settle down, it's easy to do. You know, you find a cute one and let her take the lead. I'm telling you, they're good at fishing. They know how to hook an expat. Pat says, I started in my 20s in the Philippines. That's right. That's right. Started in his 20s in the Philippines. But it's truly not a bad thing. It's not what I mean by any stretch. It's just, it's a good thing in a way because if you get the right one, they'll take really good care of you. And you can't beat it. You can't beat it for life. I mean, American women would never do what they do. But man, they are really good at turning that sexy Filipino charm on, man. They are freaking rock stars. I don't know how many guys I've talked to over the years just going, well, you know, she smiled a little bit. We went out to dinner, and hell, before I knew it, you know. You always pay, it just depends on the amount. Boy, you got that right. You know. Do you ever get it back? I do believe in this, and I've talked about this, guys. I know you're going to go live in the Philippines versus bringing a wife to America. I do think for a lot of people, it's worth bringing your woman to America, especially if you let them go to work. And I give the example, back in the day when Laura and I did our thing, I spent roughly 20 grand bringing her to America. Now, part of that was, I mean, that included everything. Air travel, having fun, 20 grand, you know, the whole 9 yards, rapid visa, you name it, everything, getting her to America. Well, since the 11 years she's been here, has she made us way more than 20 grand? Of course. So if you want to just look at it as a business deal, it's a pretty damn good business investment. Not only do you get the money back, but you get all those good things that a Filipina can bring. So it's not a bad move. I talk to a lot of guys who go, you know, I don't know if I want to invest that kind of money. It's so expensive. Well, it doesn't have to be expensive as I made it. When I went there, I just like to live first class. I mean, you know, it's just my style. Even today, when we travel, we don't travel on the cheap. You know, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I like nice places to sleep. So, but it can be worth it. You can definitely make your money back and a lot more. So they make us better people, I believe. You know, I tell the story that when I'm now I'm getting older and I'm more mellow now, but when I was younger in the Philippines, I was still an asshole in America. But when I got to the Philippines, the assholeness went away because the people are happier. You know, now maybe they're being paid to be nice to you because they're getting your luggage and you're checking in and opening car doors for you and saying good day, sir, and hello, Po, and all this bullshit. And they're getting money for it. But right away, it changes your attitude going, oh, this is nice. People are nice. They smile and greet you. And so for me, it immediately just made me feel better. Oh, this is great. All right, everybody's nice here. You know, this is nice. In America, everybody's assholes. So that's one of the good things you'll find in the Philippines. I really believe that. I think naturally they are nice people. I got friends that live here, and they're just some of the sweetest people in the world. I mean, I would trust them with anything I have, but there's some of the, you know, I wouldn't trust Americans like I would trust them. But, you know, so I think that's a good thing. And I think a lot of people that go on vacation there, why they get such of a desire to move to the Philippines is because how great everybody treats you on vacation. But if you're going to live there, you know, it is a different situation. But still, like Craig says, go check it out, go explore, have a great time, take a lot of notes, and figure it out. It'll be great for you. So that's kind of how I see it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but when you get to the Philippines, even if when you get off the airport, out of the airplane, you know, it smells, it's stinky, it's hot, it's sweaty smelling. But once people start talking to you and being nice to you and smiling, and you go here and there and you see all these beautiful women, you know, you kind of just go, damn, this is good. You know, this is some good stuff, boys and girls. Woohoo! You know, and it makes for a really good trip. I don't know, that's what I think. And like I said, Philippine women are really good about making us feel good about ourselves. Just telling you. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Pat says, that's right. Same here, Brother David. Yeah, Pat knows what I'm talking about. Craig says, 20 years, 2 kids made me a better person. Can't put a price on that. That's right. I think I'm a better person because of my wife. Yeah, I would agree with that. I do. I think I'm a better person. In a lot of ways. I will say I'm a totally different person than I would have been without her. I do think that. I think I'm a nicer person. I'm a whole lot less of an asshole. So, I mean, if I would have stayed single, which was my intention, and just lived by one, I'd be dead because of the sickness. But you know, I would probably just still be living alone and enjoying my fishing life and not worrying about anything. So I definitely think I've learned a lot. I think I've learned a lot about myself, about her, about being together, how to deal with situations. And like Craig says, I don't think you can put a price on that. And I think it's definitely worth doing. Worth doing. Pat says, yep, sure do. Sure do. So yeah, we got to go back in 2027 is our big goal. I got to start saving up money for it because it's going to cost a small fortune. But you know, my wife has a big birthday next year. I got a birthday coming up, but my wife has her big birthday next year. So she's going to want a big blowout party for that. And then we're planning to go to Europe on a cruise or something next year. So, you know, we'll have to see about it. Jimmy, anytime, you know that, buddy. And you can email me or connect to us on Facebook. Jimmy, my email address is right there on the YouTube channel. Our Facebook stuff is there. You can link up with us. And you can email, whatever, messenger anytime if you have questions or problems or issues. So a lot of us will be happy to share what we know. You may not like what we know, but we'll share it. Lucas says, well, I've really enjoyed the stream, but I have to go. I will join the next one. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate that. Stay safe, be careful, and enjoy all you can. But I tell people, look, I don't care what it is. You know, I got a message from our good friend Gary the other day, just checking in and saying hi, saying how I was after the ER visit. And I remember talking to Gary for years about going and living in the Philippines because that's what he wanted to do. And it was always just do it, you know. If you have a desire to go live in the Philippines or Thailand or Malaysia or Europe or England or Tulsa, Oklahoma, hell, just go do it. I got 2 months change. That's it. I got 2 months change Pat's Philippine Dreams on Facebook. Okay, good. Good. That's good. Getting things in order, that's important. You know, if you can make it happen, you got to make it happen. You know, Craig and I both from the same boat that we're very happy that our situation happened. And I would encourage you to go after your dreams, whatever they are. I think one thing after dying a few times, one thing I've learned is life is too short to let other people dictate your life. Don't let other people control you. Don't let what your mom or your dad or your uncle or somebody told you sometime to dictate your life. Like, oh, you know, you're not very smart, so it wouldn't be very good for you to go A, B, and C. You know, don't do that. Don't let a boss who said something snarky one time put you down at work to make you think that you can never be a success at work. Don't do that. Don't let people control you. You control you. And look, one thing I've learned, because, you know, look, the hard way sometimes, I'm really big on this. I'm going to come up with an answer. I'm going to do A, and if A doesn't turn out, and A turns out to be a big mistake, well, I own my mistake and go, whoop, A didn't work, so now I'm going to go to B or C, or I'm going to do something totally different. And that's okay. You know, I used to tell young people at the college, especially young people, and that I knew around me, that because I had some young people, some young girls one time who got pregnant and had small kids, and I would run into them. They would be working on a factory job, and I would talk to them, and they're like, well, I can't go back to college. I can't get a better job. This is my life now because I had a baby at 18 or 16, you know. And I would say, well, don't do that to yourself. Don't let the fact that you had a child early dictate the rest of your life. You know, that's giving your power to somebody else. That's not taking your power back. You know, and I would encourage them, well, whatever it is you want to do, it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, and you're going to make mistakes along the way. But who cares? That's what we all do. We're all screw ups. You know, in my world, we're all screw ups. Because you can look at things that I've done and go, oh my shitting God, I would have never done what the hell David did. And I can look at every one of you guys and do the exact same thing. Well, I'd never done what he did, you know. So that's just kind of my advice to that. But and we got to learn from our experiences. So we all make mistakes, right? But maybe it's not a mistake. It was just a learning opportunity. What is it, that whole thing? Well, I learned what was that? Isn't that kind of the background of WD-40? You know, WD-40 was, that's not a good analogy. WD-40 was by accident, you know. So we learned 100 ways of how not to do something, and then we finally learned a way to do it. It's down to you. That's life. It is. But I mean that. Just because something doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. You know, I've learned 100 ways, you know, how not to bang my head against the wall, and now I know how to bang my head against the wall correctly. You know, whatever it may be, you can learn. And you know, it took me 20 years, but I learned not to date American women anymore. Before I met Lorelai, I gave up dating American women. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Um, I'm just not doing it anymore. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Gave up on them. You know, I still wasn't interested in dating Filipinos because I was not flying to the Philippines. But I was so sick of dating American women. I'm just like, this is stupid. Stupid, stupid. I came to that moment in life where I went, I'm done banging my head against women. I'm not doing this anymore. I've learned enough not to keep repeating it. You know, what is it? Oh, maybe it's the definition of insanity, right? What's the definition of sanity? Doing something over and over again, expecting different results. Dennis is in the house. Good evening, my friend. Dennis, how are ya? That's right. The Australian legend is in the house. CP. Me too, the leader of the pack. And my dog, Lily. It's a beautiful evening here, Dennis. Beautiful evening. How are you, buddy? I hope your business and your work is doing well. So, yeah. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Maybe that's what YouTube is. I don't know. But, gave up on American women. Man, they're never, I know that there's millions of them, but they're all the same. Pat saying hello to you. Dennis, I agree. No USA or Canadian women. I agree, Dennis. I totally agree. You know, I saw a thing today, Dennis, thinking of you, Dennis. I mean, I really did. I saw a snippet of a podcast, and I don't remember who it was. But I saw a snippet of a podcast talking about women and Colombian women. I guess I am insane then. I know. That's all right, Dennis. We like you anyway. But and I like this, and you got to listen to this. This was really good. So there were some guys talking about American women, and they made, here's what he said. I'm going to try to paraphrase it, so all right, be aware of me. So this guy was talking about, he said, you know, I go to Colombia. And there are women that are 9 and 10s and 11s all over the place, working at simple jobs, out in the street, just doing everyday, ordinary stuff. And they're all over the place. And they're nice, they're approachable, they do all kinds of different jobs, all kinds of tasks, just everyday stuff. But they're all approachable. You can go up to them and talk to them. You can go out with them. And they have no weird ego or pretense about themselves. And he was like, compared to American women. So he's like, what is really weird to understand is you got these Colombian women, 9, 10s, and 11s, who you can date, have a great time with, who just ordinary women. Then you get a American woman who's a 5, 6, and 7, who thinks what's between her legs is so goddamn powerful that she rules the world. And they're horrible to date. And they set these unrealistic standards about dating in America. And he's like, but they're only 5, 6, and 7s. So this guy was saying, why would you ever date an American woman? There's so many other countries where there's 9, 10s, and 11s that are just normal human beings that don't have a hang-up like American women. Thought that was interesting, though. But you realize it, oh, there you go, Craig said, but Dennis, you realize it, so that's so good. I'm in Colombia now. Ooh, wow, see? You know I'm right, Dennis, right? You know I'm right. The women, the Philippine women, the Colombian women, other women don't have the same bullshit hang-up that a halfway decent, not a good-looking woman, but just a normal-looking American woman has. You know, about their criteria about who they should marry or who they should date, you know. So why date an American woman? There's just too many other them out there that are beautiful and that don't have the same American BS. Got to get you a Filipina? Yep. But this was on a big podcast. I don't know if it was Joe Rogan's. It wasn't Joe Rogan, but it was one of the bigger podcasts where they were talking about this. And I'm like, wow, you know, I've never kind of thought about it that way, but I get it. Even related to the Philippines, you go to the Philippines and there's gorgeous women freaking everywhere. And you can go up and talk to them and say hi. and they're over there, sweeping the floors, cleaning the tables, and ask them out, and they go, oh yeah, yeah, sure. In America, you get a 9 or a 10, they won't, you get a 5, thinking, well, how much money do you have in the bank, you know? Who knows, Dennis? That's right. So many too scared to change, easier just complain about their lives. That's right. Absolutely. CP. Yeah, and I think that's right. It's people get in ruts, and I try to keep. I One thing I have to work on, guys, is I got to keep my Filipino wife from getting into a rut in America. I kind of I got to keep her out of getting in a rut here. But you're right. We get into those ruts, or we get where it's comfortable, and it's not worth venturing out because it's easier. It's easier to do nothing. It's easier to sit home and eat popcorn like me. It's easier not to get a new job. It's easier to do this. There ain't no dress rehearsals in life. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe life is a dress rehearsal. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just something. I thought that was a great podcast today, or the other day when I saw that. So, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Thinking of that, we got to go shopping tomorrow. My wife needs to buy a new dress to go to a Filipina fancy ball party. I'm not going. They're apparently going to have a pissing contest. All the Filipinas in my area are having a pissing contest, is what I'm going to call it. They're all supposed to be dressing up the best they can so they can all get together and take pictures of each other and see and talk about each other and figure out who has the best dress. Our good friend D is back in the house. Good to have you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. I don't like going to those forays. I do once in a while, but this one, I don't even think the men are invited. I think all these women got together and they go, oh, we're going to have a big party. We don't really care if the men come or not. Where we're going to dress up in fancy ball gowns and, do our hair and do all this bullshit. And, who cares if the husband comes? I told my brother today, I said, there will be a couple of husbands there, the ones that are control freaks and don't want their wives to be out of their sight because they're control freaks. But there'll be other husbands like me that will say, bye, see ya when you get home. How can you stand all that Philippine BS parties? Well, it's hard, to be honest. I don't mind. Here's kind of the difference for me, is I don't enjoy the Filipino parties that are not at my house. I'm not saying I enjoy the ones here, but at least it's a different thing. But you're right. And I try to block it out. I do. I try to block it out. Try to pretend it's not happening so that Lorelai can have a good time. And I do have a couple friends that come over and hang out with me, so I kind of isolate myself somewhat. So, but those big parties like this, I can't do. And I won't do them, and she knows that. We get invited to big parties all the time, and we don't go to them. We're not going to do it. One, I don't want to suck up to anybody. Two, I don't give a shit if anybody sucks up to me or not. And I know this sounds a little, I don't know. But since we do have YouTube, and we do a lot of things on YouTube, we get a lot of attention in a sense. So there's times that we get attention that I don't want. So but I don't like that. When Lorelai's going to drag my happy ass out to either a Valentine's Day crapping thing or a New Year's Eve thing. We're going to probably have another Christmas party like always. So, you know what I mean? I don't like it. But I don't know, man. I try to just be a better man for an hour or two and deal with it, suck it up, and, I don't know, Dennis. I don't think I have any choice in it. If I don't want my home life to be miserable, sometimes I got to go out and do that whole public thing, So that's kind of where we're at. But I don't know, man. I don't like it. But when we do them here, and I'm the cook, and I get to hang out in my backyard, and I got a few guy friends that come over, and the girls are just singing, doing their stupid shit in the house. I'm okay with all that, okay with that. But I don't know, because I don't like a lot of the husbands. I'm gonna admit. I'm gonna say this. There's a lot of you guys that watch my live streams after I get done that live in my region. So if any of you guys are watching this, I don't like a lot of you. I think a lot of you are assholes. I think you're bullies to your women. I think you're full of shit. I think you lie out your ass. I think you're nobodies, but you pretend you're somebodies. Uh, so, so for all of you out there that I don't like, I'm not going to name your name, but there's a whole bunch of you. There are a few of you that are good guys, but for the most part, it seems like there's a lot of bullshit in the male side of this. The women bullshit I don't get involved in. I don't care. I've told Lorelai 5,000 times. I don't care which girl likes who, which girl doesn't like who's fighting with who thinks I don't give a shit about the Filipina drama. Yeah, yeah. They're a little psycho, Dennis, which is weird, you know. They're creepy. There's a couple of these husbands that I'll just say, look, I think one of them's a child molester, out and out. I mean, I've seen him. I'm telling you, he gives me the child molester creepy vibe like you can't believe. And the things I saw a few years ago with his daughter and another girl, young girl, at a party, man, it creeped me out. So there's one of those. Then you got the guy that is a super psycho that thinks, everybody's trying to get him, you know. Then you got the ones that are lying about their money, so uh, you nailed it. Oh, thanks, man. Report the creep. Well, he was reported, and there's no evidence of anything found. But and maybe he didn't touch anybody, Dennis, because somebody else reported him from this party that we were all at. So, but he likes teenage girls too much for a 55-year-old man who has nothing in common with teenage girls. If you watch him, he's one of those ones that makes a point to go hang out with the kids, and I don't like that. And he's educated, so it's not like he's dim-witted and his IQ at the same level. It's not that. He's a retired military guy. So I just gives me. So I don't go there. We won't go anything where he's at. Because I'm afraid I would jack slap his ass. And it's a good thing that we don't have kids, because if he came towards my kids, I would cut his throat. It's just bad. That's a big red flag when you go make it right. It just is, right? And I'll give you a couple other red flags about things that I've learned. So that's a red flag for the creepo. Another red flag is, you got a bad husband. Let's say if you're at a table and the girls are all eating, maybe I'm not there, but the girls are all eating, and the husband wants to squeeze in between and sit by his wife while the girls are eating and the other guys are outside or over here eating. But he needs to go sit by his wife while she's eating with the girls. Gigantic red flag. Gigantic red flag. So that's one there. One of the ones that I've seen, there's some of those. There's just some guys out here that are just. I understand why they could, the only thing they could get is the Filipina, but if you sit back and listen to them, Dennis and Craig and Pat, everybody. Let me tell you a story. Can I tell you a story? This is from a few weeks ago, and I know this guy watches our channel, so he may get really mad at us for this, because I know he comes back and watches our stuff. But he told me a story. He told a few of us a story the other day. He said that when him and his wife were newly married, they were, I don't know where they were, California, Texas, hell, somewhere, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But when they were newlyweds, I guess they were living with his mama. And he's an older guy. He's older than I am. And they haven't been married but maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 years. So he got married when he was older and she was younger, right? So I guess they went to wherever, Illinois, and lived with mama. Apparently, she got mad and left the house one morning, disappeared. So he said when he got up, he went and said, "Hey, I wonder where my wife is." And the mother-in-law said, I think I don't know where she is. So he left and went looking in the area for her. And he found her in a park. I guess it took him quite a while to find this girl, or all day long or something. But it was towards the evening time that he said that when he found her. And she was in this park in a really bad place in their neighborhood, their town, rough area, where the drug dealers are and all of that. And he was telling this to us, and we were just sitting listening. And he went up to her and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you here?" And she's like, "Well, I need $400 to send back to my family so they can pay for the college." And he went on to say, "Well, I told you all you got to do if you need money is to ask me, and if I got it, I will give it to you." And I immediately, without thinking, using my mouth, said, "Well, how did she think she was going to get $400 in a park?" And and he stopped talking at that point. But after he left, the other guy's going, yeah, yeah. How did she thought she was going to get $400, at a park? But yeah, it's just interesting, right? Crazy, right? Red flags on both sides. Red flags on both sides. But there's a lot of strange men, a lot of strange expats. There are a few good ones, but I think a lot of them lie to their women, is what I think. I like a lot of expats lie about their money, their finances. They lie about who they are or who they were. Stuff like that is what I think. I don't know. Crazy as crazy does, I guess. Maybe most people on the internet think I'm the crazy one. I don't know, Dennis and everybody. So, oh God, I don't know. I don't know. Seen some bad expats. Seen them in the Philippines. Seen them in America. Seen them everywhere. Red flags everywhere, everybody. Just got to pay attention to them. So, well, all right, folks. We've been on here long enough, I guess, tonight. I got to take Lorelei dress shopping tomorrow. Yay, me. And we got to go to Walmart. We're out of things. So we got to get to Walmart tomorrow. We got to get some water and some other things. Everyone is crazy in their own way. That's humans. Yeah, but I don't know, Greg. I'm starting to question, are we really human? I like what Craig, was it you the other day? Or was it somebody else that said that God was the human word for whatever God? Yeah, I mean, I don't know who that was. I think that was you. Maybe maybe we're not humans after all. I think God is too small of a word, is what my point is. I thought about that after we got off the chat. I thought to myself, I said, that helps me to explain what I think. I think God is the human word for who they believe for the planet Earth. There's something way bigger than the planet Earth. We are a conscious frequency here learning. Yes. So I think the word God, is a way for people to communicate what they think about what happens in and around the planet Earth. I think it's way bigger than that. Lonely Snipper 16, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, for coming in. How are you? Tell us about yourself a little bit. What's going on in your world? Is your night going good? Anything exciting happening? Anything you want to share? Any questions you have? You want to ask any questions? So it's kind of like God is only for the planet Earth if you believe in that. I think things are just so much more gigantic than that. I think the planet Earth is one grain of sand in all the beaches in the world. That's kind of how I see it. So I think the planet Earth is nothing but a grain of sand on all the beaches in the world. That's how small and insignificant we are in the overall gigantic scheme of everything. That's kind of what I think. So whoever told me that the other day, that God was the human way of explaining what we are or what we do, was there. God's word is it is. I agree. I don't know if God has any words. I'm not convinced, and I know a lot of people go, humans are such manipulative human beings, right? And I know a lot of people give me shit, but I'm telling you, humans don't do anything without a reason. They don't make up stuff without a reason. They don't lie or manipulate or lead falsely without a reason. We don't mow the grass without a reason. We don't fart without a reason. We don't do anything without reason. There's a motive behind everything for everybody. And a lot of it is power and wealth. And so when you say, and you can convince people of A, B, and C, then that makes you powerful, right? So I'm not for sure, but good versus evil is a way to control society. It just is. And the real question, though, to follow up on that is, does society need to be controlled? In some ways, absolutely. There needs to be control in society. But does there need to be shame in society? Do there need to be guilt in society? So I kind of agree with that, but I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day when we got off this. I'm like, oh, I like that. That helps me to try to say, God is for the planet Earth, but the planet Earth is a grain of sand in all the beaches on the planet Earth. Is about that, the scale of it. So, I don't know. I think it does. But I think a lot of people, Craig, they want to, and I've said this, and I have no problem with religion at all. But why do people gravitate towards religion? It's the same reason people gravitate towards gangs or groups or associations, because you're made to feel like you belong. The best way to manipulate somebody is to say, brother, come here, you're me, we are one. That's what gangs do, right? That's what religion does. That's what colleges do. Conditioning. Thank you. Yeah, conditioning is a good word. That's what we do. And I do think there's a lot of good that comes out of religion, because, if you want to do well in life and behave and not be a dickhead of a person, religion's great. It kind of helps you not to be a bad human being and be nice to others. That's really, really, really good, I think. I really do. But there's just so much conditioning that goes on in our world and has forever. So I don't know, and whatever people believe is great. But you like that, Pat? So, but I do think religion's great. I think if you believe in whichever, and I don't hate on anybody's religion. I know there's probably a section or two that we should hate on because of how bad they are to their people. Craig. So I did some more reading, like you suggested one time, and so I kind of have a little bit more agreement with you. Even though I still think Muslims have a right to be Muslims and all of that, and I'll support the right to do it. The really bad ones, yeah, I have more of a problem with that today than I had yesterday, so to speak. We all know what I are right already. I are right already. So I think religion's a great way to line the coffers. I mean, the Catholic Church is one of the richest places. Oh, is already. Yeah, that's right. I agree. I do believe that. I think if you took a human, and I agree with this, 1 trillion%, Craig, human doesn't need to be taught right and wrong. They know it instinctively. They're able to function naturally, right or wrong. Now they got to learn things. It's like the little kid still has to learn that fire's hot, right? We got to learn things as we progress. But I think people and humans, they don't come out of the womb wanting to kill everybody. I think humans naturally want to be good to people and to be nice and to be positive. I think what happens, and what I wonder, Craig, is this, and everybody, Pat, I know you got a lot of belief, so maybe you can help. I actually wonder if you took a group of humans, and never introduced religion, which there are groups kind of like this, never introduce any religion of any kind to them, and just let them be how they would be, right? Versus saying, okay, here's right and here's wrong. Because once you start saying, hey, this is wrong and you should do this, aren't you manipulating, conditioning, and shaping? So if you just let people be natural, they don't need to be told what is wrong. They know it's wrong because I don't know how to explain that, but Craig, I'm with you. I think it's very much. You don't got to be a part of a religion to know right or wrong. You just don't. You don't got to have religion in your life to know right or wrong. Do I think religion helps you learn right and wrong? Sure, absolutely. Does it help you fit and assimilate into society? Sure, absolutely. Good things. Um, I think religion has served a great purpose, but I also think it's made people billionaires. You know, there's just too much greed in religion. So much greed in religion. And I think that's sad because there shouldn't be. I mean, at the end of the day, a church should be broke. There should be no money at the church. They should be given to the poor. Should be help people get jobs. It should be distributed amongst the masses. Name one way it has to help society. Religion? Well, I think it's well, I guess you got a good point, Craig, because now what you're saying is if 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 you are absent of religion, then the human population wouldn't do bad. So I guess maybe that's a good point. So what we're saying is maybe is religion teaches people bad things, right? So it's kind of like if a community never introduced to murder, would they still murder? If a community was never introduced into the concept of stealing from one another, would they steal from one another? Is that kind of where you're going with that, Craig? So um, that's an interesting concept. If you were never introduced to that's wrong, this is right, would you do what's wrong? Would you murder? You know, I don't know. But that's an interesting concept, Craig. I'm going to have to think about that one a little bit more. Maybe I can do some study. But I think that's an interesting one and it has a great valid point to be made. Man, I love deep subjects. I love it when you got to think a little bit and go, well, I don't know. Now, I don't have any problem with anybody wanting to have any religion or no religion. I don't care. I do think if you're going to say that you're religious, then you better do it. I am one of these weird people that if you say you're going to be Catholic, then go be Catholic. If you say that you're a Christian, then act like a Christian. Don't be a fake Christian. Don't get drunk on Saturday night and then go raising hell on Saturday night, whoring it up, and go to church on Sunday. You know, if you're going to say you are something, then you need to walk the walk. You know, that's what I think. I'm big on that. I don't care what it is. If you're going to say you're an atheist, then walk the walk. You know, if you say that you're going to be a carpenter, then be a carpenter. You know, don't be a plumber, be the damn carpenter. Don't mess with the plumbing in my house, just keep on the carpentry. So, um, I mean it, because I see, and that's one of the bad things about religion. One of the bad raps is how hypocritical it is. You know, on Sunday morning, everybody's kumbaya and praising God and worshiping Jesus, saying, Jesus has come into my life and changed me, made me a better person. Saturday night, I'm out drinking, whoring it up. You know, I'm beating the shit out of my wife. You know, I'm having sex with a minor child. You know what I mean? It's just all those things. I'm molesting my dog. Hell, I don't know. I'm robbing a bank on Saturday or Friday or whatever it is. I'm stealing from a job. But on Sunday, I'm at church going, look at me. Man, ain't I a good Christian? That's true. Pat says, you like that, Pat, a little bit? I just believe people should walk the walk and not talk the talk. You know, we do a lot of charitable things, but we don't talk about it. You know, we do a lot of things because we want to do things. Humans are sheep, Dennis. I think all humans are sheep. Yeah, brother. Yeah, you know what I mean, though. It's talk is cheap. You just do it. You don't need to tell everybody in the world. Um, oh, look at me, man! I go to church every Sunday morning. And I thump my Bible. Well, don't come look for me on Friday night, though. You know, you don't need to advertise your good deeds. If you're truly a good person, you wouldn't tell everybody how good of a deeds you do. That's my theory. So that makes me a big piece of crap, which I'm okay with. Um, you know what I mean? So we'll have to see. It takes away from individual responsibility. I agree. I agree. I don't think humans know how to be individually responsible, and that's a shortfall that we have as humans. And we are. I don't like the fact. I guess I'm one of these ones. I don't like the fact that supposedly, you know, hypothetically, you can go out and get drunk and beat your wife, go to church on Sunday morning and ask forgiveness, and then it's all good. Well, the next Saturday, I can go do it again, go to church on Sunday and say, you know, God, please forgive me for my sins because I beat the shit out of my wife again. I don't like that. I don't like that in any religion. I've never liked it. Even as a kid, I thought that as being BS. You know, when people are asking forgiveness for their horrible sins, but you keep doing it. You know, I don't like that. I don't know. I have a problem with that. I think it's BS. So, and like Craig says, it takes away from your responsibility because you say, oh, well, God forgave me from it, so I don't have to be responsible. And I don't, whether, you know, I don't like people not being responsible. I don't like them saying, well, you know, I drank some sacramental wine and now I'm all good. No, you still did the bad deed. Own it and don't do it again. You know, make amends, do better. Don't go and say, well, you know. So I guess I'm one of those weird guys, people. I don't know. I'm probably not a very good human being myself. Maybe that's where I'm at. Because I don't like humans. I don't like human BS. You know? Uh, you know, if you're sorry that you cut me off, well, great. Don't do it again. And if you're truly sorry, you wouldn't have done it in the first place, right? If you're sorry that you robbed the bank, well, if you're truly sorry, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. But you did it. So you're not sorry. You're only sorry that you got caught or people know about it. You know, you're sorry that your wife has showed up at church with a big ass black eye, and your wife has to lie and say, "No, I fell down. You know, my balance is bad the older I get, and my bad hip, and I was in the house the other day and I fell down and I hit my face." You know, right? I don't know. You know, I don't like the excuses. You know, I, I don't like people that can't take personal responsibility and accountability for themselves. Look, I know I'm a piece of shit. I own it. I'm a bad guy. Always have been. You know, I get it. And I'm okay with it. I own it and say, no, I never said I was a good guy. I never said I wouldn't do A, B, and C. So, you know, Ina's in the house saying hello. Good to see you. Thank you for the like and the thumbs up and all that good stuff. We appreciate you subscribing to the channel if you haven't done that. So I know that. I've never said that I'm better than I am. Never have. I try to take ownership, responsibility. If I'm truly sorry that I did something, well, then I shouldn't have done it in the first place. Christoph is back saying, hey man, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you. Everybody say hello to everybody. Thank you for the thumbs up. So what are you going to do? Do you take personal responsibility for yourselves and for your actions? You know, that's the key. So Nina says, best life. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate that. Thank you for being here. What do you do? Do you take responsibility for yourself? Do you think people should take responsibility? Or is it okay to just say, well, God forgave me, so now I'm good? I don't think it is. If that's what you want to do, fine, I guess. But when you go and do it next week, you're a hypocrite. You're bullshit, you know? And so how can you stand there? But I don't know. I just think people ought to be more responsible, more respectful to themselves. Because are you not cheapening your... Here's what I wonder. As the example, the guy who gets drunk and beats his wife and goes on church on Sunday morning and says, oh, pastor, I did bad last night. You know, can God please forgive me, right? Well, all right, sure, absolutely, you know. Well, we'll be here next week, right? But aren't you cheapening yourself when you're not saying, okay, God didn't make me get drunk and beat my wife. I did that. I did that. So am I not cheapening myself by not stepping up to the plate going, I did that, it's wrong, I shouldn't do that. To be a better man, I shouldn't do that. Instead of blaming it on whatever or getting a get out of jail free card because God's going to forgive me. If we want to be better men, better people, better women, what do? We stop lying to ourselves, like I did the other day. I got that big video out. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to others. Do good, simple deeds for other people just because, expecting nothing in return. And remember, positive actions equal positive results, and negative actions equal negative results. That's how you become a better person. Take responsibility for your crap. Just do. What's so hard about that? You know, when I break something, I take responsibility. You know, I'll tell you a funny thing. We bought some cookies at the Asian store the other day. I don't know what they were. They're not Asian cookies, but they were cookies. Christoph says, can I just live a responsible life and still make it to heaven if I can't believe in God? That's a great question, and I'm going to answer that. I got an answer for you. But I bought some cookies at the Asian store. I think it was 12 of them. I ate a whole bunch of them. Lorelai got 4 out of the 12. She came in the office earlier, and there was one sitting there, and I gave her the last cookie. And she got the box. She's like, well, how many were in here? And I said, like 12. And she's like, well, I think you gave me 3 last night, and here's one. I said, yeah, I ate the others. So what? I ate the others. Why are you upset because I ate the cookies? I ate the cookies, you know. I take responsibility. I ate the damn cookies. They were really good. So Pat says, I'm sorry, Brother David. I have to agree with you. You're so right. Thank you for that. All right, Christoph, to answer your question, here's your question. Can I just live a responsible life and still make it to heaven if I can't believe in God? No, because God and heaven are one and the same, right? So it's part of the same ideology. You gotta buy the whole ball of wax or you don't get there. There's no heaven without God, right? Period. So if you believe in God, if you believe in heaven, then you got to go with that sphere, that world, that knowledge, that system is what you have to do. So no, that's the answer. Welcome, brother. You're welcome, Bill. Thank you. Uh, KH, breaking news. This is heaven. Or he'll right now your choice. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Or he'll right now your choice. Yeah. Trying to understand that one. So that's how I see it. Look, you can't believe if you don't believe in heaven, if you don't believe in God, it's a package deal. You know, it just is. That's that system over here. Whatever you choose, there's other systems over here. You know that if you're going to buy into a system, an ideology, then you got to go all in or nothing. That's just the way it is. All in or nothing. So that's where we're at on that. People call me. They have no flipping idea all the shit I did. So if they only knew. Oh, I understand, Dennis. You know, my past would shock people because I'm so well mannered and calm and polite in today's world. When I was a young, I'm with you, Dennis. I'm telling you. Christoph says, I see. Thank you for your answer. Oh, anytime, anytime. You know, I may be right, I may be wrong, I don't know. But that's my answer. We all have a very varied, checkered past. You know, somebody's asked me, well, aren't you, I'll tell you guys this. I've had people who, well, aren't you ashamed, who try to do that guilt thing? Um, aren't you ashamed of your past? No, no, I am not. I am not. Being called out, Dennis, yeah, I know what you mean. Trying to call you out about your past. People have no right to call you out about your past. They have no right, and people don't have a right to call you out about any damn thing. They need to mind their own business and take care of their own business. So, you know what I mean? People need to be focused on themselves and how to make themselves better and not worry about other people. That's what needs to happen. People need to stick their big ass nose back in their own damn business and worry about their own selves and leave other people alone. Heaven is the true consequence of everything, consciousness of everything. You're an atom and everything is connected. So heaven is not a place. There you go. All right. Then it says SICP, Pat says, true, Craig, I'm having trouble reading anymore. I'm getting old. Craig likes that. So that's how I said. Just look, quit your bitching and whining about other people. Internalize your own bullshit. Quit lying to yourself. That's what that is. You know, quit lying to other people about your bullshit, about how great you are, or what you did or didn't do, or what you think. Just suck it up. Mind your own damn business. You know, that's what I don't know. Maybe I'm off the wall. I'm off the wall. But I think we would be a better planet if people worried about their own actions first, then worrying about other people's actions. That's what I think. But do I have any? I have a lot of, I keep coming. What do you have any regrets? I've had people. Well, man, you did that. Wow, well, don't you regret? I'm like, no. There's only one thing that I regret. I made a comment at a bar one time, and it sticks. It's weird. This is the only thing I regret. I don't remember And the funny part, I was at a birthday party of a bar owner years ago, many thousands of years ago. And I was drunk. Brother was drunk. A lot of food, his birthday party. And I made a toast, or everybody was saying something. But whatever it was that I said was stupid. But I don't remember what I said. But I remember that it was stupid. So that is stuck in my head. That the only thing I can think of that I regret is whatever stupid thing I said in my head. Nothing matters because there's no time or space. It's just a journey. You choose to experience no right or wrong. There you go. I agree with that. Yeah. If everyone was responsible on the individual level, you'd get better people and a better society. I agree. Dry. Society level. Nothing matters no more because there is no matter that matters. So yeah, it's all good, guys. And I don't think anybody should feel bad for thinking or feeling what they think or feel. Your ideology is your ideology, and I think go with it and run with it. If it work, look, if you think in your brain that the best way to live your life the best you can is to go murder 400 million people, well, then go do it. It probably won't get to that point because somebody will take you out, right? But if your ideology is to go out there and eat grass, you think eating grass is the way to enlightenment for you, or that is your purpose, then go eat it. I don't care. I'm not going to stop you from eating the grass. Hell, if you want, you come to my house and eat it when my grass is tall. I mean, I got to pay the lawn mowing guy. So $60 each time he comes now instead of $50 because he wanted a pay raise. Just saying. So you guys do you, embrace you, be happy with you. I don't challenge other people's thoughts, ways of life. I like to study them and learn about them and hear about them. But, if you're truly a devout Catholic, hey, more power to you. If you're a Baptist, okay. If you're a Methodist, okay. If you're a Pentecostal, Quaker, thinking about that, I think the Amish may be the smart ones. So we are here to expand our tools to understand and evolve as it was before. Craig, do you think we have the ability to evolve the currently who we are now? Do you think most humans have the ability to evolve? I don't know. I think about Darwinism a lot because, in creation, right? Well, you know, evolution and creationism. I think about this a lot because I see everywhere we look animals evolving to adapt to their environment. They're not, it's like penguins. It's like the iguanas and the Galapagos Islands. You adapt and you evolve. So if you have that ability, then did creation ever happen? Or when creation happened, was what was created was your ability to evolve. Thunderclap, there he is now. He's going to be tonight. It's going good tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you for the thumbs up, my buddy. Thunderclap's a good guy. Everybody said hello. I don't flipping care anymore what people think. Yeah, I don't care what people think either. Dennis, I gave that up 35 years ago, 40 years ago, seriously. That's why people didn't like me in my teaching career, in my college career, working at the college. Because I really didn't give a rat's ass what you thought about me. I was going to do what I thought I should be doing and how I thought I should be doing. I never, and maybe even longer than that, Dennis, I got lucky because I never wanted people to go, oh, wow, I really like David. I could give a shit, if you like me or not. It's a really weird concept, but growing up, I didn't care if my parents liked me, grandparents, bro, I didn't give a shit if anybody liked me, which is, I know, kind of strange. Only cared if girls liked me because I wanted girls for a certain purpose. But I could care less if anybody else liked me, what they thought of me, what they thought I was an asshole, a bully, egotistical. I didn't care. Now you got to play the game sometimes. You got to play this game. You got to go along. You got to get along game, and I got really good at that. But I didn't care what they thought. The ability to do anything, we create everything. Nothing exists until it's created. I would agree. I would agree. You know, I would agree. Somebody had created something somewhere, somehow. Something had to create something, There's something out there. And that's what we don't understand, folks. And I'm telling you, I don't care what you believe. We don't we don't have the knowledge. And I want to beg and say, we don't have the capability of truly understanding what we are or what we're not, what all of this is. We don't have the capability to understand it. We can't comprehend it. I'm not saying, I've got a bug in my glasses, that we couldn't handle the fact that there are extraterrestrial life forms on other planets. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the gigantic macro picture that we're just a itty bitty speck of dust being a part of. We can't handle that. We can never understand that. CP's on fire. He is. CP's a smart guy. Not out there within. I understand that. I understand, Craig, that. But I think looking at it from a within perspective, right? You can't do that because it's all the same to me. Within and without, it's the same. It's just a different system. That's how I see it. Everything's a system, a rotation. It's a system in place. The problem comes back to the simple ideal is that the universe is either infinitely constant or had to come from something. Right, and I don't have that answer, and that answer is the hardest answer there is. And that's kind of what I mean. I don't think we would have the ability to understand that answer. A mystery, yes. It's a great mystery in the world. And we can't understand this. We would never be able to, we would never believe the truth, what the truth would be, I think. We would never be able to handle it. So you got a good point. Is the universe infinitely constant, or did it come from something? The mystery comes from being part of a closed system while trying to understand the system itself. Yeah. Well, and I think you got a conflict there. I think, or you got a conundrum, a problem, a flaw, because if you're in a system, how can you understand the system? You're never going to understand the system because you're in it. You can only understand systems when you're outside of them. You can't be part of the system, in the system, and understand the complete system. Nobody has the ability to see the big picture of the system that they're in. That's what I think. You got to get yourself out of that system to see it. Craig says that's the point. It's all frequencies on how you tune in. Is what you see so infinitely, that's real. Only what you create the experience. Yeah. It's good words, Craig. It just, I don't know. I look up here at night. I sit outside a lot. And I just look up and I go, look, I'm telling you. And then I sit quietly at times in the dark by myself, trying to think. And I love to think, even though I don't think well, but I like to think. I like to think about things. Want to create an arm candy universe. Well, you're in one. You said you're in Colombia. Those guys today on that, what do they call those again? Telepods? I don't know. Podcast. Those guys on the podcast today were saying that you are in Arm Candy Land. I think you are, yeah, that's what I mean. You know, you're in Colombia. And of course, and from Craig's point, right, Craig, maybe I'm going to try to think like you for a second. From Craig's point, you are in it because you think about it, right? Is that kind of fair to say, Craig? That Dennis is in Arm Candy Universe because he's thought about Arm Candy Universe. So, you know, as long as Dennis, so Craig, okay, so I'm getting, you know, Craig, you know me, I like to try to understand. So Craig, I'm getting a little bit of what you're putting down. So, but Dennis, here's the key. Can we come and visit your universe once in a while when our wives aren't around so we won't get in trouble? If we can come and visit you, then we support you. So, oh man, you know. Oh, I think this is totally off subject. We have a Ring doorbell camera, right? It quit, it just died on us yesterday. So I took it off the wall today, or off the wall, brought it in because I'm figuring it's dead and I got to buy another one, which sucks. So I plugged it in and it said the battery was completely dead, even though it's hardwired. But now the battery, I just got an alert on my phone, boop, that says the battery is fully charged. So I'm hoping it's going to start working again, even though it's hardwired to my doorbell. So I just got a pop-up. That's my new universe. Pat says a 13-year-old boy faces $800,000 lawsuit after saving his sister from a kidnapper with a slingshot. So some little boy hit somebody, and they're going to charge him and they're going to try to sue him for $800,000 for saving his sister. Isn't that kind of like the same thing as that lifeguard who saved that person? No, I hadn't heard about that one. I heard about the lifeguard that is being sued because he saved somebody's life, you know. Well, why in the hell would you want to be a lifeguard then? That's what it says. Really? That's crazy. One, can you sue a minor child? I don't think you can sue a minor child because a minor child can't enter into an agreement. And that's why the rule of thumb, Pat, I had a friend who was a police officer, retired, and he always told me, he said, look, here's the most important thing to understand. If you get in a situation, make sure you kill them dead, because it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So, the road is flat. Amen, brother. You got it. Flat. That's why pancakes are so flat, right? Well, that's right. All right, guys, a little bit after 10 o'clock here. I'm going to jump off of here. I appreciate all the great conversation tonight, some good thinking. With Dennis, good to hear from you. I'm glad you're enjoying the Arm Candy universe of Columbia and Boyd. See everybody later. All right, everybody, take care. We appreciate you. Dennis, Pat, Craig, my good friend Chris Hoff, thank you for being here. Everybody else in the background still. Appreciate you. Thunderclap came in. Thank all of you guys very, very much. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you soon.